Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we have kind of ambushed the ambushers here. We have shot down 3 heavy bombers thus far. There's this helicopter over here and this marauder. The marauder is not going to last very long, and we'll need to start focusing on that helicopter fairly soon. We might want to just bring our marauder up over here. What is this unit out over this way? Okay, so that's that Cestrus HVT. That's a Valkyrie, which is not very scary at all. So the ambushers are allegedly here. These are the supporting forces, and there's also a support lance here. So we've destroyed 3 units. We know that there are a total of 13, so there's probably at least 10 more units out there. Let's pot shot with our marauder at this Shiv. Never mind, that is not really worth taking the shot. This Shiv has 15 evasive at this moment. We don't have the ability to sensor lock, so do we even want a pot shot at this thing? You know, I'm going to try it. If we manage to tag the Shiv, it's going to be very good. Yeah, I didn't think so, but it was worth a try. The Shiv is not super dangerous to us now that it's fired as AGM, so we're not too concerned about it. I want that Marauder to go away, though. And let's see what the enemies do. There's still a number of enemies out there, right? We definitely know that, and we don't know what most of those enemies are. Now, this Marauder is not threatening. I think we'll position our rifleman here, which is not in cover. And we can pot shot out at this Shiv. We're probably not going to fire the AC-5 here. What's our heat like? Okay, yeah, this will be fine. We'll pot shot this. It's only 5%, but what do we lose for it? We lose some heat. That's not a big deal.
Missed.
Yeah, that's very not surprising. So that's okay. We'll definitely shoot our flak gun at it, but let's move our Nidhogg out over this way. I kind of want to use the Nidhogg more as a scout, but I'm going to position it here for right now. And what do we see up over this way? Still just those 2 units. Okay, there's definitely more out there. But let's fire on the Shiv with our snub nose. I'm not going to fire any weapons at it here. That's for sure. So let's see what we've got going on here. Was that a hit? Yes, it was. Beautiful. That looked like a front hit. What do we got here? I'd love to be able to open this. Yes, that's a front hit. 13 HP remaining and 12. So 25 overall damage there. We'll shoot down that Shiv. I like it. So that seems good. There's a unit out there that is moving right now. This is probably that Cestrus. Yeah. There's very little armor left in that guy. He's moving through a lot of fire. Okay, firing on the Cascatel. Getting absolutely nothing done there. I like it. Cool. So next up is going to be our Avatar. The Avatar is absolutely going to step up to this ridge. I want to pot shot at this Shiv. I'm not going to fire the UAC-10. Everything else, I'm not going to fire the MRM-40 either. We'll just pot shot these lasers. If the ER medium laser hits, then we're good. We'll shoot down the Shiv, but any of these others probably won't do the trick. Yeah, it's very low odds. It's fine. The Marauder will be taken care of by the Devastator. I'm not concerned about that at this point. So next up is our SPG, and the SPG definitely wants to position about here. And we're going to fire in flak mode at this Shiv. Let's see what we get done here. Ooh, unfortunate. Full miss. That is very, very sad. It's very rare that the flak gun misses. But okay, that'll be fine. So next up is our Devastator. And the Devastator is positioning directly behind this Marauder. And 99.1% hit odds. Go for the CT.
Firing a full salvo.
Kaboom. That is a very sad Marauder. So that is 100% of the supporting enemy forces. We have removed a full third of the enemies, or thereabouts. The LRM carrier does not have SAM missiles remaining, but we can position it here and just lob a pot shot out at this Shiv. We can fire an incendiary or standard mode. I think we're going to fire an incendiary here. Hit odds are the same, but let's see what we get done there. 3 hits at 15 damage. Okay, that sounds good. Did those hit that front arm?
Hell yeah.
Well, let's find out. Oh, that was a unit there. What unit was that? I didn't even see. It just flashed up very, very briefly there. Next up would be our Marauder. We probably do we want to use our Marauder right now?
Rolling.
It's very low hit odds, but if we manage to shoot down that Shiv or tag it, then it would be good. Let's see what we've got here.
Now let's see how you get this.
Absolutely nothing. Not shocking.
More under the breach, dear friend.
Okay. So that's all good. Next up would be our crossbow. The crossbow is much more likely to shoot this down. So let's position it here. I want to see what we're looking at out over here. That's that Valk. That's that Sestris. Okay. Looks good. So firing at this Shiv, 4.3% hit odds. I still want to take this. I would love to get this Shiv shot down.
Target acquired. Let's
We
get
hit
this
one
done,
missile.
team.
Okay. Yeah, that's not super
Very
shocking.
good,
It's got
Commander.
15 evasive, right? So it's going to move very, very shortly here, and we'll see how much evasive it ends up having. 15 is a lot of evasive. No doubt about that. It's only got 20 HP left in that front area, though. What are you going to do? It's going to move all the way into our back line and fire at our LRM carrier. That's very rude. The LRM carrier has a structure exposure there. It has basically no armor, right? That's just the way that the LRM carrier works. It's a glass cannon. So this thing has a lot of evasive back here. 15 again. So that's going to be very hard to hit. Noted. Well, let's see what our allies get done here. But we don't need a lot of hit odds to get it shot down. Okay, we're moving up on this Cascatel. We're actually going on the Valkyrie here. Structure exposure there. Internal beacon Narc. Okay, Narc attached on that Valkyrie. So that's pretty decent. There is a unit here that we don't know about that is moving right now. It's a Grand Dragon. Okay. Nothing too major there. Doing a little bit of nothing to the Cascatel. I like it. So we now know about 3 units out over here. Actually, we know about 4. We know half of these. The Lyran Mech Warrior is this Grand Dragon. Okay, that's an Atlas. Noted. So that's 5 of the units. 5 of the 8 that we know about. Marksman SPG moves up, fires on that Sestris. It's very close to killing that Sestris. Structure exposure there. Now, they've got another 2 units here. I did see a unit out over this way. That's a demon? Okay. So that is absolutely noted. We know about 6 of these units now. And 2 of them are very low. The Valkyrie and the Sestris. That demon is closing in on us a bit. It's able to fire on the Epimetheus. It's got some through armor on that Gauss.
Taking internal damage.
That's noted. So that is absolutely a thing. Going for that demon with 4 evasive is probably going to be good. The Epi Prime can make its way forward over here. We want to protect that left arm if we can, so I'm going to turn it like this.
Roger.
And this is a very long-range shot. What can we fire at that distance? The HVAC? Okay, I'm just going to brace the Epi Prime for now. So that's reasonably fine for the moment. Next up, they've got another Phase 20 mover. I am concerned about this Shiv in our backline, but we should be able to take it down. Even with the 15 evasive. That Valkyrie moves up and fires on the Cascatel, again getting absolutely nothing done. Looks good. The plan is, at this point, that I'm going to drop bombs on that Atlas rear arc. So that's definitely a thing that's going to happen. The MRM Crossbow X is going to position right here.
Copy that.
We're going to attempt to finish this Shiv. Hit odds are low, but let's see what we get done. Structure exposure, but we barely hit it at all there.
SRMs are out.
That was our improved MRMs being done. Okay. So I was hoping to get a couple more hits into that internal structure in this front arc. That Grand Dragon is
Primary target damage, Commander.
taking damage, apparently. I'm not sure how. But sure, we'll take it. So how much HP does this Shiv have left here? 10. Okay. Yeah, bad spread on that, unfortunately. But with 15 evasive, it's very difficult to hit. No doubt about that. So, this Orion is going to move up and fire on that Demon Horned. Getting no damage dealt, which is sad, but not necessarily surprising. You know, this must have been mines that got fired up here by the Cascatel. So that's an Ostrock. Okay, that's not too scary at this point. So I want the Black Knight to move over here.
Move order received.
And we're going to fire on this Chiv. Binary laser in X2 mode, firing the pulse lasers. We don't need much to go into that. That was 8 out of the 10 HP.
Once more under the breach, dear friends.
It's got 2 hit points left. Okay, so that's good. It should go down to probably the LRM carrier, I'm thinking. Which the LRM carrier needs to be kept very safe in this. So they're attempting to fire on the Cascatel a lot, and they're getting very little done there. I like it. It's the rear arc of the LRM carrier that got exposed. Okay, that is absolutely noted. So, who else are they moving in Phase 16? Well, they don't have anyone near us, really. We're going to have to close in on all of this up over here. They're really, really spread out. No doubt about that. So that's going to be a bit tedious. But at this point,
Commander.
they've got 2 HP left over here, right? I want to put our riflemen up over this way, and I want to start shooting at this demon with our PPCs, ideally. We're probably going to need to drop heat here. So I'm just going to fire 1 PPC and drop heat. I don't expect much out of that. Yeah, we don't get anything. That's expected. Okay, next up is our SPG. But also our avatar. I want to take the avatar over to here. And we're going to fire everything we've got at this Shiv. We need 1 of anything to go in here, and the Shiv dies.
Firing everything I've got.
Anything? There we go. The last missile going in there.
Gotcha.
Okay, good. So that's that Shiv finally out of there. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yes, boss.
Next up, we're going to use our Nidhogg. We're going to advance up over this way, getting 10 evasive. And with that, we see a Shadowhawk out over here. Okay, let's fire on this horned demon, and we're just going to fire the snub-nosed PPC.
Locking on target.
Excellent. So that looks like a hit.
Let's go.
Indeed it is. And that is weakening that demon a little bit.
Bye.
Now, the marksman is going to be positioning up over here, and
Roger
I
that.
want to be consistently firing in artillery mode wherever we're going to do the most damage, which currently appears to be this Ostrak. Because these 2 mechs are clustered together.
Feel the
So let's
love.
see what our artillery gets done there. That's a decent shot. Softening up the rear arc of that Atlas is very nice. I like it. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
Next up is our Devastator, and the Devastator is going to position up over here, which is
Roger
closing
that.
in as much as we can. Cool. We're wildly out of range for a lot of stuff. The LRM carrier is going to position about here,
Good to go.
and I think we're still going to fire in incendiary mode here. Let's fire on this demon and start to try to soften up his armor. I'd love to get that thing eliminated, but it's really far out there and in a pretty good spot,
No
to be honest,
long-range
up on that
missiles
ridge.
remaining.
So let's see what we get done there, but it's very little. Okay.
Go time.
So next up, we've got Phase 30. So we've got our Valkyrie over here. Yep, they're firing on a rifleman. There's that through armor damage from that
I'm
demon.
getting blown apart out here.
Yep. Not a whole lot to be done there. We need to get
Waiting
closed
for
in
orders.
on it. So our Black Knight is going to start trying to run down over here. It's out of
Understood.
range, and
Move
it needs
fast.
to close in. Next up
Ready
is our
for
crossbow, which is going to position here.
Moving out.
And this is very, very long range for the crossbow as well. But actually, these hit odds are pretty good on that demon. I want to take that. I also want to fire in ER mode. So let's see what we get done there. That's a
it's on
pretty good
now.
smattering of damage, all things considered. I like it. So that demon has small amounts of armor
Let's
left.
do this.
Our Nidhogg is going to continue to close in on it. I want to position somewhere around here. We can only see the demon from here. And do we want to drop one of these bombs on it? Honestly, yes. I want to drop a bomb on it here. What about an arrow 4? Yes.
Taking
Light him
the
up.
shot.
So that's a lot of damage to that demon. That's a structure exposure, and he's not going to last much longer. Fantastic. He's got 11 hit points in that side. I like it. So next up, we have an allied unit. This is going to be not the Cascatel. This is going to be their Marksman SPG going for the Cestrus, and it gets the kill. Perfect. We can now see that there's only 3 units in this support lance, which means there's 2 plus 3 remaining. 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus the mech warrior, so 6. Okay, yeah. We know all of the enemies now. None of these are tremendously threatening. The Cascatel is likely going to destroy this unit this round. It moves this phase.
Talk to me.
So the Crossbow X is, of course, wildly out of range, right? It needs to start sprinting up this direction
Aye, aye.
and sinking its heat so that it can move a little bit faster. Next up is that casket. Actually, it's the longbow. Going for the Atlas. I like this call. Getting some nice splash damage done around here. Do we splash damage? Oh, yeah, we splash damage all 3 of those. I like it. That's great. So next up, they are going to move one of their units, which is going to be probably this Shadowhawk. Yeah. Going for our Nidhogg and missing everything. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see. Next up is our Marauder. Now, our Marauder doesn't have a lot of great long-range weapons, but the UAZ-5 is a pretty decent one. It's too far away, though. We need to sink our heat, so that's fine for now. We're just too far out at this moment. So the Cascatel is going to move next. I expect it to eliminate this Valkyrie. Actually, it went for the Demon, and I like that better. Yeah, I absolutely prefer going for the Demon here. I think that's beautiful. Very good call. I expected it to go for the Valk, but no, that's great. I love it. Next up, they're going to be moving probably one of these units up here. Actually, it's the Valk. It is Searchlight affected, firing on our Nidhogg. Nothing too major there. Our Nidhogg is pretty invulnerable at this point. So that looks good. At least to that kind of attack. Next up will be probably the Orion, I believe. Yeah, the longbow is already moved, right? Pretty sure it has. Firing on that Atlas. It actually got a surprising number of hits there and made the Atlas unsteady. The Atlas is going to get to move fairly soon. I don't think we'll be able to take advantage of that unsteady. It moves phase 15. So that Ostrock is moving up. That's okay. They're now spread out a bit. Firing on the Cascatel. Sure. Okay, next we've got our Epi-Prime. This is still wanting to protect that left-hand side. We can make our way up to cover here and turn like this. The question is, do we have any sort of decent hit odds on this Shadowhawk? The answer is no. So we'll just advance.
Waiting for orders.
Next up is our Rifleman, which is going to start advancing up this road. We can position it here, and we can potshot out at this Shadowhawk. Under 10% hit odds means I think we're not going to take the heat for the moment. But our SPG is absolutely interested in firing on something. They're pretty spread out at this point. The Shadowhawk isn't super dangerous. We could work on the Valkyrie. The Atlas we have a plan for. We could fire on the Ostrock or the Grand Dragon. I think working on the Valkyrie is actually the best call here. I'd like to get that fully eliminated. We can't fire in direct mode. Okay, noted.
Target confirmed.
Light him up. A mediocre shot, but we got some internal
Show 'em
damage.
what you got.
And that'll be
Standing
fine.
by.
So next up would be the Devastator, and the Devastator's just trying to move forward as much as it can here. It can't move forward all that much, but it can make its way out to this road pretty soon and can start to move forward. So that Atlas is going to fire at our allied SPG and completely miss it. Beautiful. Actually, it got a couple of hits, but it doesn't matter.
Waiting on you, Commander.
So then the Avatar is going to make its way around over here.
Max
We just
speed,
need to start
no shooting.
advancing, right? And the UAC is now unjammed, which is good.
Reporting.
The LRM carrier is going to position up over here-ish. Is that going to take us through the fire? It's not saying it's going to, so that's
Moving
good.
to position.
We'll position it here and fire on this Shadowhawk. 10% hit odds are not great. All we've got is the standard ammo. I'm not going to fire that. Let's just brace it. We'll continue to close in. Okay. Next round. So let's see what allied unit is moving in phase 28. That's not the Cascatel. It is the Marksman SPG. which is not going to fire. Okay, that's fine.
How can I help?
And our crossbow X, of course, needs to advance as much as it can, which is about here.
Roger.
So we'll get in there. Looks good for now. That Cascatel is going to move next. I wouldn't be surprised if it moves over and goes for the Valkyrie here, but I would prefer it didn't. Going for the Shadowhawk. I guess that's okay. Narking the Shadowhawk is pretty decent, actually.
Commander.
So our rifleman is going to move forward a little bit
On the
here.
move.
And I want to continue to fire on that Shadowhawk. 56% hit odds is solid. With that narking, I like it.
Roger.
Light him up. We managed to hit all 3 of those.
Show them
Beautiful.
what you
Now, the Shadowhawk gets to move now, so we don't get to take advantage of that instability that we're building up, but the Shadowhawk's armor is quite low. Let's see what it decides to do here. Moves forward and fires at the Devastator, but manages to miss everything. Okay, it's going to take a lot of damage this round. It probably dies to our mechs here, or to our Devastator, one of those. It actually sprinted, and so its instability remained,
Something cheap?
which is not the smartest thing in the world. I'm going to move our crossbow up. We don't have any direct fire, so I'm not going to fire with it.
I'm ready.
The Black Knight can position here.
Heading out. Full speed.
How are those hit odds? 37? Give it a go. What happens here? Okay, we don't manage to hit. That's fine. We're still very out of range
It's
on that
on
Shadowhawk,
now.
so that seems absolutely okay. What else do we have here? Well, we've got our Marauder, and the Marauder does actually get LOS over here,
Acknowledged.
and it's a fair amount closer than it was last time. Yeah, these are good hit odds, at least for the range. Let's see what we've got here. Structure exposure, both of those UAC 5 shots hit. We did not manage to tag it, but it's already narked and unsteady, so I don't think that really matters. Next up is going to be a phase 21 mover, probably this Valkyrie. And this Valkyrie is not so happy at this moment. Okay, it's going for the Cascatel. Cascatel does not care. Absolutely 100% fine. Next up is going to be our
Waiting for
Nidhogg. We're going to continue to advance the Nidhogg up over here, and we'll position it about here for the time being.
Confirm.
I want to fire on this Valkyrie, and I'm going to fire a bomb and an arrow 4 and a snub nose. I would like the Valkyrie to cease to exist here on the way through. Okay, so that's an arm destruction. I think that the arrow 4 missed there, which is unfortunate, but that Valkyrie has definitely taken a lot of damage. No doubt about that. Now they're firing on the Shadowhawk, and that's a little bit of splash damage there, I guess.
Waiting
The
for
Marksman
orders.
SPG, I definitely am thinking Valkyrie on. This guy's really close to gone. This shot could
Taking the
destroy the
shot.
Valkyrie.
Goddamn, let's do this.
Torso destruction there. Artemis 4
Take it,
detachment,
heavy damage.
or attachment, I should say, destroyed. That pilot took a lot of damage there. He has 18 hit points in the CT. Okay, noted.
Standing by.
So the Epi Prime is going to step forward up over here, still trying to protect that left
Affirmative.
side a bit. And we're going to fire on this Shadowhawk with the HVAC 20. Light him.
Copy that. Oh,
Engine destruction.
on now.
Shadowhawk's gone. Beautiful.
Enemy down.
So now we know that there's a grand total of 4 enemies left. Not too bad, all things considered. And we know that this Valkyrie is really close to dead. And we know that we have the ammo to take out this Atlas in a couple rounds once we manage to get closed in enough on it. So, let's see what they're going to do with their Orion, firing on that Atlas. Okay. It's actually a decent amount of front arc damage building up on that Atlas. Particularly in that leg. Okay, the leg is not really a huge concern. So let's move our LRM carrier a little bit forward, and I'm going to lob some standard LRMs at this Valkyrie. We're mostly just fishing for crits here. Let's see what we get done.
Firing a full salvo.
Fantastic. The Valkyrie's out of here. Now there are 3 enemies remaining. Perfect. So that all looks good. And we're going to have to close in a bit, but they're probably going to end up dying to the Nidhogg and indirect fire, is my guess. That Grand Dragon has very little armor. And it's not very threatening, all things considered. It's firing on our Nidhogg and getting Very little done. That's to be expected.
Were you trying to attract my attention or something?
Yes, that's definitely what he was doing. Okay, next
can I
up
do
is our
for you?
avatar. The avatar is not going to get LOS on anything at this point. We're going to sprint forward as best we can, but we're a very long ways away from them, right? They are way up over here. There's not much we can do about that in terms of direct fire. So that Atlas is backing up. This isn't great for us, but it's firing on the Marksman SPG, which is fine. Gets a couple of hits there, but whatever. And our Devastator is going to just make its way, like, down over here. We're going to want to make our way onto this road and make our way up and around. But we're a long ways away from anything. That's for sure. So next up, they're going to move this Ostrak, and that has very little rear armor as well at this point. So that's absolutely nothing. Also going for the Nidhogg, also doing absolutely nothing to it. I like it. So which of these three do we want to start targeting with artillery? That's a question to ask, for sure. We'll see what our allies get done here. The Cascatel is going to move first. I'd like to see it move up over here. It's moving away. That's a bad move. Okay. It's still got plenty of ammo here. It's got the Narc launcher. It's got the LRMs. It's got the ER mediums. It absolutely should have narked the Ostrak, in my opinion. That's a miss over here, but it dealt some damage to the Grand Dragon, so we'll take that.
Got your back.
The Crossbow X is, of course, not going to get anywhere. We're going to sprint it as forward as it can
Ready
go.
to run.
Next up is our Nidhogg, and the Nidhogg can position inside arc up over here. I'm going to put it here for the moment. Maybe like here. 12 evasive? You know what? That'll do. So we'll position it here. I'm going to fire the final arrow 4 here, and I'm going to fire a guided bomb and the snub nose at the Atlas, but I'm not really going to let him have it just yet. Okay, so that's a lot of damage to that Atlas, no doubt about it, and the snub nose is definitely useful there. We're going to get in behind the Atlas next round, so that looks good. Next up is going to be our Rifleman, which is out of range, but actually has LOS here. Remarkable for ERPPCs.
Ready for orders.
And the Black Knight is going to move up as well.
That.
We just need to close in on that Ostrak as best we can. And the crossbow is definitely out of range. I just want to move in everybody as much as possible here.
How's it going?
The SPG is going to close in up over here. We probably, given our positioning here, want to artillery either the Atlas or the Ostrak, and I think we're better off softening the Ostrak here. So let's do that. That's a front arc hit, which I don't prefer, but it's okay. And beyond that, we're going to move our Marauder forward. This is also wildly out of range. We're a really long ways away from anything, right? So that is fine. These guys can't really do too much. So 12 activations remaining on Savarok. That's noted. His bleed out is going to be a bit of a problem. Our Avatar is going to move up over here. And we're just trying to close in there a bit. Okay, so they're firing on the Atlas here. Whatever. That is absolutely fine. So now they're going to move the Atlas or the Grand Dragon here, I think. It's going to be the Grand Dragon. Sure. So the Grand Dragon is positioning here, going for our allied Cascatel, which is still fine. That's not a problem whatsoever there. And we've got our LRM carrier, which has 240 missiles. Let's look at these hit odds. I don't think it's worth taking yet. Maybe on the Grand Dragon. This guy does have soft armor, and it's side arc. That was a number of hits. I'm glad I took that. Okay, so that Grand Dragon is significantly softened there. Let's see what our allied units want to do here. I'm not sure which unit this is. The Orion? The longbow? The Orion. Okay. So that's going for that Atlas again. That's good clustering in that leg. Okay. We're not going to get to take advantage of that instability, though. The Atlas is going to move very soon here, and we don't move our Nidhogg until next round. So nothing too much going on there. Let's bring our Devastator over towards this road. And that'll be fine for the moment. And they're going to move their Ostrak here at this point. That Ostrak also has very, very minimal armor, so we'll get through that very quickly once we're actually able to fire on it. They're getting some damage dealt to the Nidhogg here, but this doesn't really matter, to be honest. We've almost got this mopped up. Very, very close here. Okay, now they're going to move that Atlas, and it's probably going to start attacking the Nidhogg. Actually, it's going for the Devastator indirect here. Wild. I don't know why they chose that. I don't think that's a good choice.
Damn, let's do this.
Okay. Phase 29, Allied Mover. Let's see what happens here. This will be the Cascatel. I'd like to see him come back and attack the Ostrak. Nope. He's moving away. Okay. Well, let's see what the SPG does here. Does it do anything useful at all? Actually, it fires on the Ostrak side arc there. That's pretty good. I like that. So next up would be our Crossbow X. And the Crossbow X is way too far away to do anything. We're going to position it here. Then we've got our regular crossbow. We actually have a direct LOS here.
Confirmed.
On this Ostrak, we're going to have to fire listen kill rounds here. Do it. This is into that weakened side arc.
Affirmative.
Structure exposure and some internal damage to that
Solid
Ostrak.
connection
I
on
like it.
that one.
He is not going to last too much longer. So we're then going to attack the Grand Dragon with the Nidhogg after we're done with the Atlas. But we're going to nuke the Atlas, is the goal. So phase 23, the Ostrak gets to move now. He's not going to be happy with that positioning, except he fired on the Nidhogg. Does he have Ace Pilot? I haven't noted him using it up until now. He does not have Ace Pilot. Okay, so that's actually huge. So our Epimetheus can move up over here, protecting that left side. And we would fire Side Arc into this Ostrak. 24% hit odds aren't great, but we'll give it a go.
Mech Warriors.
Nice.
Show 'em what you got.
So that's an arm destruction
that
there.
hit something good.
And that's building up instability on that Ostrak. Next up is going to be our Rifleman, which may be able to start taking shots here as well.
Understood.
Yes, do
Moving
it.
fast.
They're very long-range shots, but let's see what we get done here.
Locked on target.
Let's hit them
Not much at
hard.
all. Absolutely nothing. Okay, that's fine. This Ostrak is not going to last much longer at this angling, though. So that's absolutely
Waiting for
great.
orders.
Our Black Knight is able to advance up. It is not in range
On
yet,
the
so we'll
move.
just put
Full
it
speed.
here. It's going to be in range very, very soon. Phase 21, this longbow is firing on the Atlas. I would have much preferred the Ostrak here. Yeah, I would have much preferred the Ostrak. So now an enemy unit is going to move. This is going to be not the Atlas, but either... Okay, this is the Grand Dragon. That's fine. Absolutely A-okay there. That Grand Dragon had good clustering, too. Noted. Firing on the Cascatel, the AMS is out of ammo. That's fine. Cool. So
Ready
next
for
up
order.
is our Marauder. Our Marauder probably doesn't get LOS on anybody. Well, it does, but it doesn't
Got
have
it,
the
Commander.
range. Okay, that's fine. Next up is our Nidhogg. And the Nidhogg, of course, is angling to get in behind this Atlas and bomb it from about here. I don't love that position, though. Because I feel like this might not actually be the angling. We might be being lied to here. I think we're being lied to. Which means we have to position it more like here. That's okay. We can definitely do that. Positioning it here. Firing the weapons bay. The Daisy Cutter bomb is a little close, but I'm still going to do it and just nuke the softened rear arc of this Atlas.
Rear armor in use.
There we go. -1 Atlas.
Go time.
Fantastic. So next up, the Nidhogg is going to be going for the Grand Dragon, and that's absolutely okay. Our artillery at this point is going to be going for probably the Ostrak Mark II, although maybe not, now that I think about it. This Orion moves up, goes for that Grand Dragon. It gets a smattering of damage there, about 25 total damage.
What's up,
I think our artillery is actually going to go for the Grand Dragon here, softening the armor on that because nothing else
Copy
can hit
that.
this right now. But things can hit the
Hit
Ostrock.
hard.
So we're going to go for the Grand Dragon. Of course, we can fire any indirect weapons up there, but that's fine.
Winning
So
on
the
you,
Avatar
Commander.
is going to close in over here. It does not have the range to fire on that Ostrock. Okay.
Receiving you.
The LRM carrier, on the other hand, absolutely does. And it has direct fire LOS from here. We'll position it there,
On my way.
and let's fire direct fire on this Ostrock. 33.9% odds are not the greatest, but let's see what we get done here.
Forward. No
Torso
retreat.
destruction, a bunch of heat sinks gone, large laser, medium laser. I like it. So that Ostrock is not doing well. It's not gone yet, but it is very, very close.
Aye, aye.
Next up would be our Devastator, and I want to take the Devastator up this direction and
Going
just
to
put it
full
on the road.
throttle.
We're going to make our way up over here. Okay. Next round. When do they move? They move phase 23 and 26, very early on those moves. The Cascatel is positioning completely pointlessly, not helpful in the slightest. Sad. Let's see what the SPG decides to do here. Rear arc attack on that Ostrock. Pilot ejection. Okay, beautiful. So all that's left now is a Grand Dragon.
How can I help?
And that means that the Crossbow X, of course, is not going to be useful this round. We're going to position it here. And let's see what the Grand Dragon decides to do. If it makes for this ridgeline, or rather this ridgeline, it's very dumb. But it kind of doesn't have good options here. How much rear armor does it have? Noted. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have good options. Going for the Epi Prime is not, in my opinion, a good choice, but is it worse than any other choices that it would have had? To be honest, the best thing they could have done is eject at this point. The Orion is going to fire on that Grand Dragon, and it gets a structure exposure there, AC5 ammo explosion, and a lucky crit takes down that Grand Dragon. Wow, okay, I definitely didn't expect a lucky crit there. That'll be fine.
Mission successful.
So, that went very well, all things considered. Very, very well. We're going to get a lot of pay out of that. I think that that was our last mission, which means that this is probably our last episode. Interesting. Okay. Well, with this being our last episode, probably our last episode, I should say that. Almost certainly our last episode. It depends on how long it takes to repair things and heal mech warriors, I suppose. That's the only thing. So we get 2 million C-bills from that. We're definitely going to be over our marker. Do we get everything repaired and everybody healed before the month tick? That's the question. We're going to accept this. That's fine. We can sell off this jump jet and standard heatsink cooling. There we go. That gives us a little bit of extra cash padding. But overall, that went extraordinarily well. We got kind of lucky with those heavy bombers being played very badly. They should have been more aggressive with them, no doubt about that. We ejected our one Devastator, so I don't think we even took any pilot injuries there. But we definitely did get an injury on Savarok, but it was only the one injury. I think Savarok is going to heal up fairly quickly. We took a smattering of armor damage, but that should all be repaired within the month. Let's see how this math works out. That's the only question at this point is, did we take too much damage to end it this month? I don't think we did, but it is a possibility. A remote possibility, but a possibility nevertheless. Let's see what we've got here. Any moment Yang wants to tell us what we've got would be great. Okay, Yang, you're keeping us in suspense right now. 119K, 14 days for the repairs. That is beautiful. I believe that means that that's it. We're up over 20 million. And these are going to be done. The Archer is going to be done in 20 days. Yeah, we can just tick forward here. What do we have for Mech Warrior injuries? 7 and 11 days? Okay, we can just tick forward and end this. Beautiful. Everything's good to go. Do we accept this offer? No, we don't need an SRM4. Okay, so we'll continue this, and let's just kick forward and end this. Remarkable how little damage we took there, actually. So Mech Warriors are going to be back. All of our mechs are going to be repaired in 10 more days, which is before the financial report. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
And there we go. Next month's tick, we would hit 50 morale. We're at 21 million in funds. Everything is repaired. All of our Mech Warriors are good to go. We are ready to deploy, but this is the end of the series. There's a new version of RogueTech out. It has big changes. I'm not going to immediately dive into that. I would like to do an Imperator series between now and then, but the new version of RogueTech is absolutely something that we will be returning to. For now, of course, you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.